Hi, my name is Leslie Davis. This is going to be for my English class 2320. This is the different ways and how to communicate professionally. I jotted down 5 different ways that we like to communicate in the workplace. The first one being by telephone. The best thing you can do is introduce yourself professionally, like who you are, who you work for. When you're answering the phone, make sure the same scenario. You know who you are, who you work for. Um, you always want to speak clearly and concisely, make sure the other person can understand. I'm sure I'm speaking a little fast right now because I am quite nervous, but you always want to be concise with your words and make sure you pronunciate everything the way you mean to. Um, you don't ever want to interrupt. I know that sometimes I get in a hurry and I may think of something that I want to say, and me being myself, if I don't say it right then, I'll completely forget it. But you have to try to stop yourself and not interrupt. You have to try to listen to the other person and give them the opportunity to open up and talk about what is important and what needs to be talked about. And then at the end of what they are saying, then, of course, you can give them your ideas or ask questions. Make sure that everyone understands what you're talking about. Um, you always use emotions when you're talking. I mean, you don't want to get on there and sound like a robot, kind of probably like how I'm sounding now. But I mean, you want to make sure you smile in your conversations. Make sure that because they can hear that through your talk on the other end, that you're smiling and you're upbeat and you're happy. Or if you're angry, you're yelling or screaming. But of course, that would not be professional by any means. So you want to avoid that. Um, the second one I have would be the social media. I know there's a lot of different avenues. There's Twitter, there's blogging, there's Facebooking, there's what else? LinkedIn, Pinterest. That was just to name a few. I know with blogging, I have a couple of friends that get on and they blog and they basically talk about their everyday lives and their trivial and what they're doing, and some have children and they like to talk about that. And you can always get on there and comment and talk to them through that. I don't really know that it's too professional, but that's one of the more like the businesses want to get on there and blog about their products or something or whatever. I'm sure that could be a form of communication that would be professional. Facebook, I know that's more one of the popular ones. That's the one I use. I like to get on Facebook a lot, but of course I'm not professional. I'm just more for social. But I have seen businesses on there that are more, they like to get on there and again describe their products and what they're about and their hours and what they do and where to be located and all that kind of stuff. Facebook would be another good one for professional. Twitter. Again, I don't know how one communicates professionally through Twitter, other than stating like what they're about, maybe their hours. I'm pretty new to Twitter. I've only used it a few times, so I'm still kind of learning that one. Um, let's see, Linked Up. That one actually is a good one because that one is for professionals and for updating their resumes and staying connected with the professional world. Basically getting the resume out there for other professionals to look at and to possibly gain employment. Let's see. The next one would be text messaging. Text messaging professionally. I'm still having a hard time with this one, but if you'd like to text professionally, here are some ideas that might work. Definitely don't send after hours. I mean, I think probably maybe 8 or 9 o'clock would be like the latest I would ever send a text message professionally. I would never send anything before, I would say, 7 o'clock in the morning. To me, that's just not professional. You don't want to never want to talk in all caps. I mean, they would probably get the idea that you're yelling at them, and no one wants the idea that you're yelling at them. You want to definitely watch your slang, watch your abbreviations like LOL. Definitely watch your tone. I know sometimes that when we say things in text, it could be misconstrued as having an attitude, or that we could be just completely careless. So definitely watch your tone. Keep it short. Keep it simple. Talk about what you need to talk about and nothing more. Nothing more, nothing less. Another one, and actually the most popular one, would be the most common form, would be the email. Basically what you want to do in an email is you want to, in the first sentence, you want to be specific about what you're emailing about, what you're going to be talking about, grasp their attention. They don't want to get bored when they're going to read it. Usually the first 2 lines, if it doesn't catch my interest, I don't care. I don't want to read it. You want to specify, like I said, what you're talking about. You want to be brief and polite. Again, you don't want to use slang. You don't want to, your grammar is a big thing. You definitely want to make sure you use spell checks. Sometimes I have a tendency to misspell words, and to me that's just not professional. I usually go back 2 or 3, sometimes 4 or 5 times to make sure I've spelled something correctly. Sometimes even bust out the dictionary. So you want to make sure that you do spell things correctly if you want to look professional. Another form would be instant messaging. I use this a lot in my previous work. We always had to contact the other inspectors or the engineers or the supervisors concerning a part. It can kind of borderline. Sometimes we got friendly with it, which I know is wrong, but we should always keep it professional. But what you want to do is you basically, get on there, ask your question or state your idea or your whatever you need, and get off. Be short, be precise, to the point, and always keep your closing very short. Basically that's what you want to do with IM. The best ways to communicate, ask others their preference. How do they feel being contacted? They want you to phone, text messaging. I know if I can't, I'd rather talk through text messaging or emailing than any other way of communication whatsoever. I hate talking on the phone. If I can't text or email, I really don't want to talk at all. When you're in doubt about what someone's talking about, just go visit them. Go ask questions, give you opportunity to, stay face to face, actually remember what the other person may look like. Yes, email and text messaging is awfully convenient, but you do need to have that face to face conversation every once in a while, just like I said, to remember what they actually look like and actually sound like. You want to pay attention to the cues. I mean, if they sound like they don't want to talk on the phone, make it short, to the point, sweet, simple, get it over with. Ask them how they feel like communicating. In order to avoid confrontations at work, avoid being too critical of other people. They just want to come there, get their job done, and go home. You need to be professional. You don't criticize people, don't make fun of people. Gossip was a big deal at the foundry where I worked. I found that if you didn't engage, it was a lot easier just to avoid it altogether. People just, if you give them something to talk about, you give them a reason to keep talking, it's just going to get worse. So if you just walk away and avoid the situation, you have nothing to talk about then. A lot of problems can be solved with communication. I ran into a couple of problems with, some coworkers, and I found that actually, but just going and talking to them actually helped out a lot. A lot of it did involve gossip, and if you just go to the direct source and ask, then it cuts out the middleman. You just be an adult about it, and you go solve the problem through communicating with the actual person. And the last one would be the diversities. Make sure you recognize the diversities, respect them, accept them, actually learn the different diversities, the cultures in your work area. I think once everybody can work together and respect everyone and understand everyone, then you're going to have a better work area. It's going to provide a better professional work area. And I guess thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you.